1099 marked a pivotal moment in Christian history, intertwining the expansion of religious influence with the rebirth of the Church's spiritual and political power. Sparked by a call from Pope Urban II in 1095, the crusade was aimed at reclaiming the Holy Land from Muslim rule, particularly Jerusalem, which had been under Islamic control since the 7th century. However, the crusade was also a response to the increasing threat of Turkish expansion into Byzantine territory and a broader desire to reunify the Christian world under the papal banner. The Church, at this point, was struggling with internal challenges, including a divided papacy and widespread corruption. However, the call for the crusade invigorated Christian Europe, allowing the Church to reascend, was arduous and costly, with crusaders enduring extreme hardships, including starvation, disease, and conflict. Despite these challenges, the Crusaders succeeded in capturing Jerusalem in 1099 after a bloody siege. The capture of the city was seen as a divine victory and reinforced the belief in the righteousness of their cause. The First Crusade's success had profound implications for the Church. It cemented the papacy's role as a unifying force in Europe, with the ability to mobilize large-scale military campaigns in the name of Christianity. This rebirth of Church authority also strengthened its influence over political matters. Many European leaders, including kings and nobles, were eager to align themselves with the Church's newfound military success and spiritual leadership, and its surrounding areas has offered profound insights into the historical timeline of Christianity. One of the most significant breakthroughs came through the dating of the mortar used to seal Jesus' supposed tomb within the edicule. This discovery is not only a marvel of modern scientific techniques, but also plays a crucial role in validating or challenging traditional beliefs about the age of the tomb and its connection to the historical Jesus. In 2016, a major restoration project was initiated on the edicule, the shrine built over what is believed to be the burial place of Jesus. During this process, a team of scientists was granted the rare opportunity to access and analyze the ancient materials used in the construction and restoration of the tomb. One of the primary OSL is a method that measures the last time mineral grains, such as quartz or feldspar, were exposed to light, allowing researchers to pinpoint when the material was last used or disturbed. This technique is particularly effective in dating ancient construction materials. The results of the analysis confirmed that the mortar used to seal the tomb dated back to around the mid-4th century AD, precisely aligning with the time when Constantine's construction efforts were believed to have taken place. This discovery provided powerful evidence supporting the tradition that the site identified by Helena and subsequently enshrined by Constantine was indeed regarded as the burial place of Jesus as early as the 300s. Furthermore, this scientific dating also offers insight into the layers of reconstruction the edicule has undergone over the centuries and resurrection. However, the authenticity of this location has been a subject of debate for centuries, leading to discussions about alternative burial sites. These alternative theories challenge the traditional view and offer intriguing perspectives on early Christian history. One prominent alternative site is the Garden Tomb, located outside the Old City of Jerusalem. Discovered in 1867, the Garden Tomb, also known as Gordon's Calvary, is a rock-cut tomb situated in a garden area. Its proponents argue that its location and features, such as a nearby rock face resembling a skull, Golgotha, more closely match the Gospel descriptions of Jesus' crucifixion site. The Garden Tomb is also surrounded by a tranquil garden, adding to its appeal as a potential burial site. Scholars argue could indicate a connection to Jesus and his family. The Talpiot tomb's discovery led to considerable controversy and debate, fueled by documentaries and books that proposed it as a possible alternative to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. However, the mainstream scholarly consensus remains skeptical, citing issues with the interpretation of the inscriptions and the lack of direct evidence linking the tomb to Jesus of Nazareth. The debate over alternative burial sites often reflects broader discussions about the reliability of historical and archaeological evidence, the role of tradition in shaping religious practices, and the intersection of faith and empirical research. While alternative sites provide fascinating insights and stimulate scholarly inquiry, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre has garnered significant attention due to its potential implications for the historical understanding of Jesus Christ and his family. The tomb contains 10 ossuaries, bone boxes, some of which bear inscriptions with names that have intrigued scholars and the public alike. Notably, one ossuary is inscribed with the name Jesus, son of Joseph, while others have names such as Mary and Joseph, which some argue could be linked to Jesus' family as described in the New Testament. The discovery was initially met with skepticism, but gained widespread attention following the release of the 2007 documentary The Lost Tomb of Jesus, directed by James Cameron and produced by Simcha Jacobovici. The film suggested that this tomb could be the final resting place of Jesus and his family, presenting it as a potential alternative on early Christian history, challenging traditional narratives about Jesus' resurrection and burial. Critics, however, dismiss these claims, arguing that the names on the ossuaries were common during the period and do not necessarily point to the historical Jesus. They also question the documentary's methodology and the interpretation of the inscriptions, suggesting that the evidence is insufficient to support such a significant claim. The mainstream scholarly consensus remains skeptical, citing concerns over the interpretation of the inscriptions, the lack of direct evidence linking the tomb to Jesus of Nazareth, and the documentary's tendency to sensationalize findings. The Garden Tomb and other potential sites. The Garden Tomb, located just outside the old, with a rock-cut tomb and a nearby hill that resembles a skull, which some believe aligns with the biblical description of Golgotha, or the place of the skull. The site's supporters argue that its location fits the gospel accounts of Jesus' crucifixion and burial, as it is situated outside the city walls and close to a garden, which corresponds to John 19:41. However, the Garden Tomb is not without its critics. Some scholars argue that its dating is inconsistent with the historical and archaeological evidence. The tomb's design and structure suggest it dates from the 1st century BC, whereas Jesus' crucifixion is generally placed in the early 1st century AD. Additionally, the location of the Garden Tomb, outside the traditional location of the ancient city, raises questions about its authenticity, including its identification by Emperor Constantine in the 4th century. Another site of interest is the Talpiot tomb, discovered in 1980. This tomb, which has been the subject of much debate, contains ossuaries with names associated with Jesus and his family. Some researchers have suggested that it could be an alternative burial site, but the theory remains controversial and is not widely accepted by mainstream scholars. Restoration and revelation. The sealed chamber. The restoration and revelation of the sealed chamber within the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, often referred to as the Edicule, has been one of the most significant events in recent biblical archaeology. This project, which began in earnest in 2016, aimed to preserve and reveal new insights into the sacred site. A major restoration project was launched by a team of international experts and conservators, representing multiple Christian denominations that share custodianship of the church. The restoration process involved carefully dismantling and conserving the edicule, which had become dangerously unstable over the years. Conservators used advanced techniques to document and analyze the tomb's condition, employing methods such as 3D scanning and high-resolution imaging to preserve the site's integrity while minimizing disturbance. One of the most compelling discoveries during this process was the revelation of the original limestone burial bed, which had been obscured by subsequent layers of construction and decoration. In October 2016, after removing the outer marble cladding and carefully examining the underlying structure on how the site had been modified and adapted over centuries, the meticulous work ensured that the edicule was reinforced and preserved for future generations, maintaining its historical and religious significance while addressing critical conservation concerns. In conclusion, the restoration and revelation of the sealed chamber within the Church of the Holy Sepulchre stands as a testament to the intersection of faith, history, and science. The project not only preserved a critical religious site, but also offered new insights into its ancient origins. By revealing the original limestone tomb and addressing the structural challenges of the edicule, this restoration has deepened our understanding of one of Christianity's most sacred locations. The careful balance between conservation and revelation